everyone. So, three US banks just failed. What is going on? People are freaking out. They have questions. They're concerned. I'm getting a ton of questions on it. So, today we're talking banks and we're talking about a little bit about what's going on, but really more importantly, what you should know about banks and how they work. So, my first question is, do you really know what the bank does with your money when you deposit it? Well, I'll tell you what they don't do. They don't leave it in the vault, just waiting, collecting dust and cobwebs, waiting to get robbed or waiting for you to come withdraw it. Okay. That's not what they're doing. They're actually making money on your money. Now, they do have to keep some on hand and in reserves in case you want to withdraw it. Banks do something called fractional reserving. Okay. So, what that means is for every dollar you put in, they only have to keep a fraction, a small percentage of it available on deposit in case you want to withdraw it. So let's go through an example here. Let's say you deposit $1,000, okay? And the reserve requirement is 10%. Say that's what it is. That means they have to keep $100 of your money on hand in case you want it, and the other 900, they're making money on it. Well, what do they do with it? Very common, they invest it, yes, but they loan it out. So how much money is the bank making on your money that they're loaning out to other people? Well, mortgage rates, they change. Let's say nowadays, as of the date of this video, April 2023, they're in that 6% range, right? But they could be 4, 5, 6, something like that they're making on your money. Used car loans or car loans, maybe in that 7, 8% range. What about this? What about APRs on credit cards? What's the highest APR you've ever seen? They can be upwards of 20, 22%. So the bank's making what, 4 to 22% return on your money. And then they're so generous, right? What are they paying you? Well, a CD nowadays, if you go to like your regular brick and mortar bank and walk in, 1-year CD, maybe you're earning 3%. Savings accounts, 0.2, maybe if you're lucky. Checking accounts, goose egg, right? Usually 0 interest. And then do you ever have fees on those accounts? Like, wrong ATM or overdraft or, oh, you need more checks. Yeah. So sometimes you're paying them, you're getting a negative rate of return on the money in your checking account. So sounds like a good deal for the bank, right? You put your money in, they make 4 to 22%, give you 3 to negative rates of return, right? So how much? So the real question I think comes into how much do they have to keep of your money on reserve? Well, before the pandemic, the reserve requirement was 10%. So just like that example I gave, right? You put in 1,000, they keep 100 on hand. Do you know what it is right now? Do you know what happened in March 2020? They changed it to 0. So in theory, the bank could keep 0 in reserves. Not to say banks were doing that, it's not good business, but technically they could have, right? Pretty scary. So I think a lot of you are thinking, but I thought the bank was safe. What is going on? So yeah, they're making money on my money. I'm not feeling too happy about that. But now you're telling me they might not even have my money there if I need it. Exactly. And so what happens is this is what happens when there's a run on the bank. Generally, it's works out because people are putting money in, people are taking money out. But when everyone wants to withdraw their money at once, yikes, a run on the bank and we have issues. And that's what we've seen with some of these banks, primarily because they need to come up with the money. So they had to go access investments they had made. They sold those at a loss. So they didn't even have all the money available. And it just spiraled out of control. So everyone, that is what's going on with the banks, what they do with your money. Maybe it's not as safe as you always thought it to be. Of course, there's FDIC insurance. I'll do a separate video on that so you can understand what that coverage is, how it works, what are the limits, are there ways to get more coverage? And the other big question I've been getting is, okay, so what can I do with my money if I want to make sure that it's secure and it's preserved from losses? And I'm a little worried about having too much in the bank now. The good news is there are other options, and these other options, the reserve requirements and contractual guarantees are better and aren't fractionally reserved. So there are other options out there, not to worry. I'll be sure to touch on those in some other videos to educate you on other options that are out there. So there you go, everyone. check your bank balance, check your FDIC, and hang on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride this year.